In a time of political turmoil, it's easy to overlook the people who work to exercise and support our core American values. Democracy at Work is an election season series from VCIJ at WHRO. People share their stories about how they uphold the core ideals of American democracy: free and fair elections, the defense of the country, ensuring clean air and water, the right to participate in government deliberations, and exercise First Amendment rights. This weekly series brings these compelling stories to light.
My name is Ann Phillips. I am 63 years young. What I've found as a public servant my entire life, really, and as the daughter of public servants, is that people are so extremely dedicated to the work that they do. They value their contribution to society and to their broader community in whatever role they have, and they want to see success for the greater good. And I think that's what public service is all about. I'm a Mid-Atlantic person, Mid-Atlantic girl. Grew up in Maryland, largely. My father kept moving away from Washington, D.C. until we got to water, and then we stopped. The Navy always fascinated me. I did grow up in Annapolis. The Naval Academy is there, so I saw it from that perspective. I was a teenager when the Academy first opened its doors to women. So when the opportunity to join the Navy came my way, I wanted to try to pursue that. What I wanted to do was go to sea on ships. And that had not been open for women. And I was extremely fortunate that the timing just worked out, that as ships began to open, I was a young officer who wanted to go to sea, and the opportunity came along, and I was able to seize it. So once I finished college and completed my ROTC program, off I went to the Navy. And I was very fortunate that surface warfare opened up to women, and I had an opportunity to serve on a training aircraft carrier in Pensacola, Florida, USS Lexington. From there on, it was really off to the races. I drove ships, I commanded ships, I commanded a squadron and commanded a strike group, ESG-2, Expeditionary Strike Group 2, here in Hampton Roads. That was my last tour on active duty. After I retired from the Navy, I was seeking what to do next and kept landing on going back to school. I attended William & Mary and got an MBA after that. And really during that time, I was asked to participate in a pilot project that Old Dominion University was a part of, working with the National Security Council on the impact of rising waters, sea level rise, climate change on the Hampton Roads region in particular. I had very little, no background in that topic, but I was asked if I would lead a committee, and I picked infrastructure because I had some knowledge of what happened on the base when it flooded. I spent the next 2 years while I was finishing my MBA working with a tremendous group of public servants who came from all across the Hampton Roads region. I felt there was a lot more to be done, and that this was a matter of urgent importance to this region, but really to our nation. The General Assembly created a position, the Special Assistant to the Governor of Virginia for Coastal Adaptation and Protection, and eventually I was offered the position. So I had the opportunity to serve in a state administration for Governor Northam for almost 3 years, working on an extensive collaborative effort on developing our first Coastal Resilience Master Plan. As that was coming to a close, I had an opportunity to just completely on a whim throw my name in in the context of, would you work in the Biden administration? What are you interested in? I was amazed to be asked if I would consider, talking to the Department of Transportation and talking to them about the Maritime Administration. And here I am. I started May 16th of 2022 after having been confirmed by the Senate. I want to thank President Biden and Secretary Buttigieg for nominating me to fill this role. I was incredibly fortunate to be able to take advantage of things as they came along. But I would say with that comes a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of doing that at the expense of other things. And of course, that's the life of anyone in the military, because you go in harm's way and you go where you're asked. I tend to think people sometimes dismiss public services. Oh, it's boring. You don't get much pay. And there are moments where perhaps you may feel that those things apply to you. But for public service more broadly, you are part of a higher calling and part of a collective good. You're part of the execution of democracy in this country. That's the beauty of public services. There's always more that needs to be done. And you have an opportunity to influence it in a positive way.